Americans have chosen Democrat Joe Biden as their 46th president in a cinematic twist. After long hours of vote count, Biden's boyhood state of Pennsylvania put him over the 270 elected vote threshold to the White House. November 1982, November 2020, the New Deal continued to forge ahead with economic and developmental projects. The challenges galore in spite of them. And in sports, judo, the victor song is rising high for Cameroon as national athletes have won 5 gold medals at the Judo Africa Open in Yaoundé. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 News. I am Benin Bumagana.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
Democrat Joe Biden has won the 2020 U.S. election and will become president of the United States in January, pending the outcome of any legal challenges. The result was called after Biden overtook incumbent Donald Trump in the state of Pennsylvania. Winning the state gave Biden more than 270 elected college seats needed for victory. Charles Ebunet tells us more.
God bless the US. Oh yes, God bless America, because today is the day of the Lord, to crown the nearly 5 decades political experience of this man, Joe Biden, as President-elect of the United States, alongside this woman, Senator Kamala Harris, as the first ever female Vice President of the United States of America.
Your patience is commendable.
The Pennsylvania Electoral College tally, the birthplace of Joe Biden, gave him the birth of his presidency with plus 280 of the Electoral College votes 4 days after the United States elections 2020. The former Vice President of Barack Obama for 8 years obtains the popular vote too with plus 75 million votes, the highest by any elected leader in the United States. Today, incumbent President Donald Trump pledged for a more legal lawsuit to challenge the victory. All along the world today in general, and America in particular, Lynn Greenwood's melody seems to be the spirit of the American soul, battered by coronavirus, the first challenge for President-elect Joe Biden.
God bless the USA and congratulations to Joe Biden. One of the goals of the government since the start of the New Deal in November 1982 is to bring development to Cameroon. So much has been done to achieve this objective, but the task has also faced so many challenges, especially with the outbreak of a global health pandemic and security challenges. Clarice Aritakan explains.
The growth rate was projected to stand at 4% in 2020, but COVID-19 had other plans for Cameroon's development agenda, minus 1.1%. A number of projects were expected to have gained grounds in the execution, ranging from transport, water and energy, and agriculture. But this was not to be. Dealing with an emergency, as was the case, and a fight to check the spread of the disease meant that most of what was considered a priority for 2020 came in second or simply put on hold. With the state budget at 4,951.7 billion CFA francs and the sources of revenue clearly identified, getting a plan B was non-negotiable. It involved a budgetary adjustment which saw administrations having to manage less than what they started off with at the beginning of the year. A drop in global oil prices and the Sonara fire incident did nothing to lessen the impact. Security challenges also got the government trying to make some good out of a tense situation, with crisis-hit areas declared economically distressed. These did not, however, bring the development drive to a stop, as can be evidenced from the execution of some major works in the country. Sports infrastructure has gone by leaps and bounds in readiness for the events to be played in 2021 and 2022. While the pinch of COVID-19 and security pressures remain, therefore, the idea is to keep building in spite of the stumbling blocks.
The production of cashew nuts and cotton will witness an increase in the months ahead to over 4,000 tons, and this is expected to upgrade the living standard of the farmers. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe, has been visiting the different localities hosting these projects and gives specific instructions on the upgrade of the projects. Luisa Akwanka Achato reports.
The Cotton Project and the National Cashew Nut Development Strategy, launched in Garua by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Those projects will help to improve the income, to sustain agriculture practice in the region, and to improve the use of natural resources like water.
Worth close to 13 billion CFA francs, funds provided by the European Union and the German Development Agency GIZ. The concept, to last 4 years, also targets reinforcing the resilience of communities, training of farmers and other actors, as well as environmental conservation, among other essential aspects.
The cashew crop helps us to fight against the advancement of desert, a good tool to restore the degraded landscape. This is very important for us. That's why we are launching this project to develop cashew crop in the region.
A gift of transport and office necessities to the Cashew Nut Project was a key highlight of the ceremony in Garua.
We stay in Garua, where some youths have received equipment and financial support to the tune of over 370 million CFA francs for the completion of their projects. The package falls within the 3-year special youth program and was handed over to youth in Gashiga by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monuna Fotsum, in the presence of the Minister of Agriculture. Vanessa Wutnang-Snamung reports.
The package, made up of ICT kits, agricultural equipment, and other tools to boost industrial craftsmanship and technical innovations, alongside lessons on civic moral rearmament values, will, according to the beneficiaries, contribute a great deal in the realization of their project.
This financial aid is going to help me in the production of rice, my project, to buy fertilizers and pay for the human resource.
The gifts within the Head of State's 3-year special youth program seek to empower youths who are expected to judiciously use the support package. This was emphasized by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education.
Through those donations, we know that this plan is being implemented. We have visited some success stories already. So it means that the promise of the Head of State is also already operational. It's aimed at facilitating the socio-economic integration of young people.
The ceremony was preceded by a
Cattle breeders in the 3 northern regions of the country have been encouraged to adhere to the free vaccination campaign against small ruminant diseases to keep their animals away from the plague. 1,000 goats and sheep were also donated to 100 less privileged families, as well as walking tools for veterinarians by the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, Dr. Tiger. Henry Tato Ekambi reports.
A goat or sheep that has not been vaccinated is a danger to the other animals of the household and by extension to the town and the nation. Those were the words of the Minister of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries as he launched the free vaccination campaign to eradicate the small ruminant disease. Cameroon is in line with the global mission to eradicate the small ruminant plague. This campaign is for the 3 northern regions. The Minister of Livestock will launch the vaccination campaign in Mindiv. Mayokani division of the Far North region also came along with the state's donation of 1,000 small ruminants for 100 families, as well as working materials for veterinarians.
This material will be useful for us to achieve our veterinary profession.
The free vaccination campaign, expected to end on the 20th of December 2020, will be undertaken by the Livestock Development Project, PRODEL, from door to door and village to village.
And now let's continue talking about the celebration of the 6th of November. That is President Paul Biya's accession to power. And we go over to Bangante, where CPDM supporters have been enjoined to cast their votes in favor of the CPDM and to follow the ideals of the party. Let's follow this report by Ngu Henry Tiesambe.
The anniversary celebration in Bangante was an occasion for supporters and sympathizers of the CPDM in the day to express gratitude to President Paul Biya for strides to develop the division in the past 38 years. Among the achievements of the New Deal, according to the orators, was a decentralization drive. It was an occasion to edify the supporters on the advantages of decentralization.
Regional election of the 6th December is the last step of decentralization. It's up to us now to show that the head of state is a person of a word. When he gave his word, he made everything possible to realize it.
The head of the Nde permanent delegation of the CPDM, Klobe Chatat, has called on municipal councillors and the traditional rulers to vote the CPDM list come December the 6th for the development of the Nde and the West region. The people of the Nde have condemned the killing of school children in Kumba in the Southwest region.
From Bangante to Ambam, members and supporters of the CPDM in the Ntem Valley Division have been called upon to respect party ideals as they elect the Pioneer Regional Council come December 6. The ceremony was chaired by Senator Samuel Obam Assam, Pontianos Lawong.
The CPDM family in the Ntem Valley Division pays tribute to the 7 school children recently massacred in Kumba. They have strongly condemned this and other barbaric acts allegedly perpetrated by separatist fighters in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. At a time when Cameroon is gearing up for the maiden regional elections, CPDM officials have preached party discipline to councillors from the 4 municipalities in the Ntem Valley Division, describing the December 6th election as the cornerstone of Cameroon's decentralization process.
The militantism of Ntem Valley, that we must remain firm behind the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya.
Traditional rulers in the Ntem Valley have been challenged to remain credible, united, and to work for the common interest of the people, irrespective of the fact that 2 lists are competing for the regional election in the division.
We hope that at the end of the operation, we will remain united, we remain with fraternity among themselves, among all the communities.
The entire Ntem Valley has hailed Paul Biya for his efforts towards the socio-economic prosperity of Cameroon, promising to stand by him as he stirs the statecraft to emergence.
And from Ambam to Lembe Yezum in the Upper Sanaga division of the Central region, where supporters have been schooled on the importance of decentralization in local government. That was around the communal leader Bertrand Pierre Sombo Angola. Let's follow Kwanchwa Marie-Claire Do in this report.
The 38th anniversary celebration of President Paul Biya's accession to power in Lembe-Yezub in the Upper Sanaga division was relatively low-key because of the COVID-19 barrier measures. CPDM officials used the occasion to drill supporters, especially municipal councillors, on the stakes and challenges of decentralization. An expert in the domain educated the participants on the legal procedures and on better management of resources, taking into consideration the priority needs of the population. Led by the CPDM communal leader of Lembe-Yezub, Bertrand Pierre Sombo Angola, the delegation made stops in all the 3 subsections that make up Lembe-Yezub. The section president preached party disciplines to councillors as they gear up to elect the Pioneer Regional Councillors. Bertrand Pierre Sombo Angola in all the stops underscored the need for all sons and daughters to get involved in local development.
And from Lembe-Yezum, let's go right up to the north. In the Mayore division, the CPDM supporters have promised to be ambassadors of peace, which is a key tenet of the national president, Paul Biya. They converged on tomorrow around the Central Committee delegate for Mayore division, Senator Namyo Pierre. As we follow in this report by Vanessa Wutnang Snamung.
Farming remains a major source of sustenance for communities and a contributor to the national economy, with a potential for even more productivity, where impediments such as poor soil management and fertility, lack of skilled labor force, and access to financial and other resources dealt with. These would be taken care of thanks to the support program for rural development christened ABC PADER, the Cotton Project, and the National Cashew Nut Development Strategy, launched in Garwa by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Those projects will help to improve the income, to sustain agriculture practice in the region, and to improve the use of natural resources like water.
Worth close to 13 billion CFA francs, funds provided by the European Union and the German development agency GIZ. The concept, to last 4 years, also target reinforcing the resilience of communities, training of farmers and other actors, as well as environmental conservation, among other essential aspects.
The cashew crop helps us to fight against the advancement of desert, a good tool to restore the degraded landscape. This is very important for us. That's why we are launching this project to develop cashew crop in the region.
A gift of transport and office necessities to the Cashew Nut Project was a key highlight of the ceremony in Garwa.
Of a boulevard in the South region, CPDM followers say they are willing to continue supporting the President of the Republic as he works hard to get solutions to the socio-political crisis in the Northwest and Southwest regions and peace in the entire country. Derek Alengye reports.
Away from the usual festive atmosphere, some bigwigs of the CPDM party in the Villa took part in a special radio program at the South Regional Station of the CRTV in a bid to mark this year's event.
Today is a big day for us because we are celebrating the New Deal with the arrival of His Excellency President Paul Biya to the power. We are very happy, and I seize this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency for the big achievement he did for Cameroon people since 38 years now.
For 1 hour 30 minutes, the mayors, parliamentarians and other party members talked elaborately on some of the head of state's major achievements during his 38 years of reign, amongst which is the current decentralization process.
Since February this year, all municipalities are in place and they have already started working. Now we are expecting that on the 6th of December we will go to vote in order to implement the regional council. The regional council is an additional tool actually to make sure that the whole decentralization process is in place to the benefit of the population.
Described as a man of charisma and stamina, one with a vision which is making Cameroon an emerging nation by 2035.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Let's cut into the second canto in this newscast and talk about the fight against coronavirus. Our tour today takes us to the Southwest region to find out how health professionals are carrying on with the zero prevalence campaign against COVID-19. We go over to the Public Health Emergency Center, CUSP, West Baldwin Tama, in a video chat with the controller number 1 at the Southwest Regional Delegation of Public Health, Dr. Andrew Njom, gets further explanation for us. Hello, Baldwin.
Well, good evening to you, Benin Bumagana. We take you to the southwest region of the country this Saturday to have an idea as to how the zero prevalence campaign launched in that region is ongoing so far. We shall be talking to Dr. Andreas Njo. He is an epidemiologist and the controller #1 at the Southwest Regional Delegation for Public Health. Dr. Andreas Njo, good evening.
Good evening, Baldwin. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Tell us, where are we so far with regards to the zero prevalence campaign against COVID-19 launch in the southwest region of the country?
It is ongoing, and the southwest region began with this activity 2 weeks ago, and we have a target to screen at least 1,000 persons, infants more than 5 years old and adults. So far as of yesterday, the region has been able to collect samples from 154 persons. And most of these samples have been shipped already to the referral laboratory in Yaoundé.
With regards to this campaign, can one have an idea for the epidemiological situation in the southwest region, close to over 8 months after the first coronavirus case was confirmed in Cameroon?
The southwest region has equally been hit by this disease. And so far, the region has recorded, from the onset of crisis, 801 persons as of yesterday, and we have had 754 recoveries and 25 deaths. So far in the region, there are 15 active cases distributed across 3 towns, that is Boya, Limbe, and Muyuka. It's good, the number has reduced, but the disease is still there, and so that is why it is a time for us to reinforce surveillance. That is why at this moment in the region, contact tracing is being intensified in the region. Community health workers have been trained to follow up cases, contacts of any confirmed cases, to ensure that they are diagnosed early if they develop the disease to limit the spread. They have also been trained on infection prevention and control. The same measures are being put in place in schools with the school resumption. You know, it's a community where we can easily have an increased spread of the disease. So these measures have already been put in place to prevent the spread and to also avoid the occurrence of a second wave.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andreas Njo, for being our guest this evening. We remind our viewers that you're the controller #1 at the Southwest Regional Delegation for Public Health, and you are equally an epidemiologist. Benin Bumagana will take our viewers tomorrow Sunday to the Northwest region of the country. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
And thank you very much, Baldwin Samma von Kemen. This horrifying news from Boya, where the chief of Liwola Malale, Chief Molinga Francis Nango, a third-class traditional leader, has been assassinated by unidentified gunmen on the night of Friday break-in Saturday. He was murdered few minutes after a meeting with members of his community and his house set ablaze. Guy Roger Nana, please tell us what happened.
Friday night, horror night for Chief Molinga Francis Nango, who had just finished a crisis meeting with some members of his community around 7 p.m. Unidentified gunmen stormed his palace and shot him in cold blood.
I was hearing the sound of the house burning here when I saw the flame. In a short time of about 3 to 5 minutes, we only heard the sound of the gun. Boom, boom, boom.
I never knew he was the one. They were shooting. And he was the one. They were shooting. What am I going to do? He's gone. He's gone.
A village of about 300 people, according to this septuagenarian, has now been reduced to these 3.
The boys and girls men who were able to run away had to run.
I could not run because I have no eyes. Where will I run?
Visiting the scene, the MP for the Boya urban constituency expressed disdain for this other macabre act perpetrated in Boya.
It is another life which is going unjustly. It is an affront to the sacredness of human life, to the solemn nature of traditional institutions, and to the anguish of the people of this region, of this town, and of the whole country, who are still mourning the innocent lives of young children that were massacred in Kumba.
Chief Molinga Francis Nango is now the second chief in Fako to have been murdered ever since the start of the socio-political crisis rocking the country.
A communication campaign to pave the way for the listing of Ngwon Festival as a cultural element of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity with UNESCO has been launched in Yaoundé. Sons and daughters of Bamoun origin under the leadership of their Sultan Ibrahim Bomonjoya took part in the launching exercise attended by the Ministers of External Relations, Culture and Basic Education as well as representatives of UNESCO. Here we get details from Constantine Baum.
This come together at the Yaoundé Conference Center is to witness the launching of a communication campaign that will pave the way for the listing of the Ngwon Festival as a cultural element of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity with UNESCO.
This is really, really very important for the country, for the culture of the country, to make us known at international level.
The Ngwon has been recognized by UNESCO as a historic event which merits preservation. According to the keynote speakers, the festival is an incredible representation of culture, tradition, history, music and dance.
We have to make proof that we have the consent of the community. We have to have proof that some measures are taken so that the transmission of the element to next generation is assured.
Today's communication campaign launch is to enable the public to be part of the process that includes the Ministers of External Relations, Culture, Basic Education, UNESCO officials.
Cameroonian athletes Celine Baba Matia and Paul Alima Fuda are the two who have won gold medals in the ongoing Judo Open tournament. So far, Cameroon have registered 5 gold medals. Let's get details from Romeo Kenyi, who says the ceremony is being presided over by the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi.
13 grand finalists on day 1 of the 2020 African Judo Open at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sport Complex. The test for victory and quench for grasping gold medals was ushered by Celine Baba Matia in the minus 52 kilograms. And a pawn was enough to impose hegemony against Ivorian athlete Fofana Zakanda. The most spirited fight was that of the men's minus 66 kilograms, but Alima Fuda of Cameroon maximized on series of wazaris to make a difference in front of a solid Central African opponent, Zako Ngwawili. In all, Cameroon grabbed 5 gold medals, 2 silvers and 9 bronze.
We have to find a point for Olympic ranking list, and Cameroon get 5 gold medals, and it's very, very good for us because we have to go forward in the national and international classification.
Djibouti and South Africans were outstanding among foreign competitors.
I felt I made a big mistake in the beginning and I lost the fight, but I came back the second time around and with a different mindset, and I knew that I had to win to prove myself.
61 athletes from 9 African countries are taking part at this year's Africa Judo Open in Cameroon. The tournament ends this Sunday, November 8.
Thank you very much, Romeo Kenya. That was some good news. It is here that we come to the end of the 7:30 news. I'll be back here tomorrow. Lucrece Medu is going to be coming at for 8:30 for another dose. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.